Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to make a big brioche that we're gonna shape as a snowflake that almost looks like a flower too, and we're gonna fill it with Nutella. But if you don't want to use Nutella, you can also use jam. So let's get started. I start by mixing some warm milk with the dry yeast and some of the sugar. I let it sit for about 10 minutes. If the yeast is active, you can notice that it expands a bit. I whisk it up and I add in the remaining amount of sugar and 2 eggs. Whisk it up some more. To add some extra flavor to the dough, I pour in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and I grate the zest of a lemon and an orange, preferably organic. This will give the brioche a great aroma. Now add in some of the all-purpose flour and combine it together just like this. I go ahead and add the remaining amount of flour, the softened butter, and also a pinch of salt. I mix everything with a spoon and then I transfer the dough onto the counter and I start kneading it for about 10 minutes or so until everything is well incorporated and the dough is smooth. Now I place it back in the bowl and I cover it with the plastic wrap. I'm gonna let it rest for 2 hours inside of the oven, obviously turned off, with the light on so that it stays warm. About 2 hours later, the dough has tripled in volume, as you can see. I put it in the counter and I close it up, just like that. I divide the dough into 4 equal parts. You can use a scale to be very precise and make each piece of about 218 grams. Now I close up each bun in a few simple steps. I roll it like this, and then like that, and then I roll it into the counter until I create a smooth ball. Once one is done, I cover it with the same plastic wrap. I repeat the process for all the other pieces too. It's important to keep them covered because the dough tends to dry out really quickly, and so we want to avoid that. Now I take some parchment paper and I use a plate with a diameter of about 10.5 inches to draw a circle. I flip it so that the dough doesn't get in contact with the pencil mark, and I use it as a reference to roll out the dough in circles of the same size. It will take quite a while because the dough tends to shrink. So I suggest stretching it with your hands and flipping it every once in a while. Once I'm done with one, I set it aside and I cover it. Also, it may be helpful to start rolling 2 pieces at a time because if you wait a few minutes between rolls, the dough gets more relaxed and it's easier to stretch it. I repeat the same process for all the pieces. I suggest to slightly heat up the Nutella in the oven or the microwave so that it's easier to spread on the dough. I alternate dough with a layer of Nutella, and I try to match the edges of the layers by stretching them with my hands. Obviously, I do the same things for all the layers, except I'm not going to put any Nutella on the last layer. Now I move the dough into a pan and I place a glass in the middle of it. I cut this big circle into 4 equal parts with a very sharp knife. Clean the knife from the Nutella at every cut. Then I slice each part in half so that I get 8 equal parts. Lastly, I'm going to divide in half these 8 parts so that I get 16 equal sections. Awesome! Now I take 2 pieces and I twist them outwards 1 time and 1 more time. I close the endings by flipping them downwards like this and pinching them. I repeat the same process for all the remaining parts. Now I cover the brioche and I let it rest again for an hour or so. Alright, an hour later, you'll notice that the brioche has grown a bit more. I pinch again the pieces that got untied, and at this point, I brush the dough with some egg and a tablespoon of milk. This will make a very nice golden crust. Lastly, I bake the brioche in a preheated oven at 350 Fahrenheit for 15, maximum 17 minutes. It looks just like a snowflake to me, or even a beautiful flower. I let it cool down, just a couple of minutes, and then I sprinkle some icing sugar on top. I think it fits perfectly on a Christmas table. I wish there was a way for you to feel how soft it is through the screen, but no, the only way would be for you to remake this brioche snowflake and enjoy its softness. Oh my gosh, it's so soft. I am in love with this final result. To be honest, for a moment, I was about to give up on this recipe. I said, I'll try it one more time. If it doesn't turn out, then I'll just try it another time, maybe in a couple of months or something. But instead, it just really turned out great because it's soft. It has the perfect amount of Nutella in it. And I mean, it's perfect for Christmas. So I hope you guys are gonna try out this recipe. If you like it, please leave it a thumbs up, and also don't forget to subscribe for new weekly recipes. Bye guys!